Hey, everyone, and good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Listen, this is going to be a fantastic show. We have a panel of guests like no other, but I'm going to bring in somebody new, somebody different, my co-host on the side. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, give Amora a big round of applause.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amora, and I welcome you to this podcast. This podcast is going to be stories about youth empowerment and women empowerment, gender equality, and we're also going to touch on topics like gender-based violence.
Well,
Yes.
this is going to be fantastic. So, Amora, I'm going to leave it up to you. I'm going to let you call in your first guest. But before we start, give us some real quick background about yourself.
Okay, so I am a student of human resources with a background in academia. So I have a master's in corporate psychology and am an immigrant in Canada. So it's just been 3 months. So everything is still very new to me here.
It's very fresh.
Yeah, very fresh.
So here's the first quick I'm going to ask you. You're liking our weather so far?
No, because I come from India. This is a big change from 45 to minus 45. It's great.
We'll make sure that we get you settled, get you warm. So let's go. Call your first guest and let's have some fun.
All right, without further ado, let's bring in our first panelist, Khatija Khan, who is a dynamic marketing professional. So, yes. Hi, Khatija. How are you doing? Okay. So, Khatija, we would like to know a little about yourself. What is it you do in marketing? So the audience gets to know you. Yeah.
Kijija, you're on mute. Unmute yourself. There
Yes,
we go.
thank you for that. Sorry about that. Well, along with marketing, I'm also a tech enthusiast, and I've been a serial entrepreneur ever since the last 4 years. I am recently on the verge of launching my new tech project called Quick Task in order to connect service providers and consumers all over Canada easily just through the touch of an app rather than calling people individually. And the best thing is, we're trying to involve women in trades right now. So we'll be particularly marketing for them just so they have the equal opportunity towards entrepreneurship and trades and skills, and the trades and skills industry as well. So that's what we're introducing right now. Thank
All
you.
right. Wonderful. Okay. So, Khadija, my question to you is, what is your perspective on gender-based violence at the workplace?
Well, I mean, gender-based violence at the workplace is deeply concerning. It's not just the issue that involves the individual directly, but also involves a broader perspective of the society nowadays. I believe gender-based violence is only encouraged in workplaces because there's something unheard in the society. So if the society shapes up and they stop abusing people, women, or any of the specific gender on the basis of what they feel like, then I believe there will be no more gender-based violence. And again, it just depends upon who you're supporting and how you're supporting them. And right now, gender-based violence is mainly about human rights. So that's
Right.
my perspective about it.
Yes. So our workplace is nothing but a reflection of who we are as a society. Yes.
Exactly, because I mean, if there was enough laws in the society, or if people are actually fighting for your right in the society, there would be no gender-based violence,
Okay.
and
And
people would fight towards it.
okay, one more question to you is, how can we stand up against gender-based violence at work? You
Well,
know.
I mean, the first step would be addressing the awareness and issue for gender-based violence. If people have enough awareness and education about what gender-based violence is and what people are going through it right now, then I believe they can do wonders towards fighting against it as well. There's also, I mean, in workplaces like like yourself, you're in the HR, right? So
Yes.
if people are more supportive towards the HR, and the HR can, fight for a person's right, because that's their job at the end. They're human resources. They're the ones that settle down the environment at the workplace. So if the human resources starts taking enough action, if companies start implementing legal protection in a company, then I believe we'll be able to address it quite quickly.
Yes, so awareness and support is the key to tackle this issue, is what you're saying. Yes. Okay.
Definitely.
All right. It was wonderful talking to you and having you here. Thank you so much, Khadija.
No
So,
problem. No problem.
yes.
Thank you
Can
so
we
much.
have our next panelist? Yeah, Anila.
Hi,
Hi.
how are you
Hi,
doing?
Anila. All right. I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank
Yes.
you.
So, for our audience, Anila is a bold working professional and a mother. She's from Bangladesh and is a year and 2 months old now in Canada. And she's working as a controller, treasury in the media and broadcasting industry. So, she's a proud single mother for a 4-year-old daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, we welcome you on the show. Okay, lovely having you here. So, Anila, we would like to know your story. I would invite you to share your personal experiences when it comes to gender based violence.
Personal experience about the gender-based violence is frankly, it's really hard to articulate at the initial stage when someone is abusing you, someone is gaslighting you. I'm not talking about like any particular like gender for like women. I'm talking about the both sides, both for men and women. So for me myself, I did not understand like how, like there were a few factors, there were a few words, there was like all sorts of like verbal abuse, there was mental abuse. So for I did not realize that initially until at a certain point things got like out of hand, because I think every individual has their own boundary, and when you realize that the boundary has been crossed, that's when you have to stand up for yourself, and there would be no one but you who would be standing up for yourself. And it's very, very unfortunate that both the genders, and especially I believe women, as that is coming more into view, they have to go through this. And I believe that my experience that I do share with a lot of people, I say that, like if you know your boundaries, if you know where to put a stop to it, if you know like how to control the overall situation, I mean, that's when you need to know like you have to stand up for yourself and to take actions against it. So I think from my own experience, I'm by the grace of God, I think I am at a much better place where I am, and I'm really proud of myself, and I'm really happy of what I chose with zero guilt and zero regret. And that's what I encourage everyone else to do and to feel at the same time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for being so vocal about it and sharing your story with us. Finally, I would like to ask your advice for working mothers on balancing responsibilities between being a mother and a working professional.
I think it is very, very crucial for every woman to ask for support, to have a very good support system. I think, like it takes a village to raise a child. That's what everyone says. At the same time, if I have a responsibility as a mother to take care of, a child or like children, I need to have my strong support system. And that's what I did. I created my support systems. I made new friends. I made new families. And, like I went out and I spoke to them. I spoke about my issues. And I think I have been very, very lucky to each and everyone who have been there for me, in my life. And I think it's equally important at the same time, other than having the support system, is to have your proper schedule, like what you want to do in your life, your timeline. Like you need to have a proper roster. You need to follow it like a robot. Like you have like no time to procrastinate other than your weekends, I believe. But it's important that you actually follow your like the
Get
rules,
into a routine. Yeah.
get into a routine and do that, and ask for help. There is no harm in asking for help. The maximum, the problem can be like people can deny to you, like for asking for help. That's the worst that can happen. But I think there is no harm in asking for help from your support system. And that's how I think I do have like I do balance my responsibilities between being a mother and a working professional.
Thank you so much, Anila, for being here and sharing your story with us. Wish you all the best.
Thank
Yes.
you.
All right. So let's have our next panelist. That's Sunaina Deepak. So I would like to introduce Sunaina Deepak. Her journey is one of resilience and empowerment. And as a survivor of domestic violence, she has turned her pain into purpose. So back in India, Sunaina is not just an entrepreneur. She is the co-founder of A Plate of Love, a business created for women by women. Her commitment goes beyond culinary endeavors, and it's about fostering a workplace where every woman feels supported and heard. Her experiences have fueled a passion for diversity, equity, and inclusion, and Sunaina is dedicated to creating spaces that are not just inclusive but empowering for all. So, today, Sunaina is not just a survivor, she's a voice for change. And she believes in working towards building a world where no one has to endure what she has gone through. So I think that's beautiful, Sanana. Welcome you on the show. And I think, the way you have changed, you've channeled your pain and made it, uh, into a purpose. That's beautiful. The way you're living life. So, my first question to you is, what does gender equality mean to you?
Thank you so much, Amora, for that really warm welcome. So, with this question, I want to tweak it a little bit and go one step further and say that the real question should be, what is gender equity? Because there is a fundamental difference between what equality is and equity is. Equality is where you hand out resources, the same resource, to every person and think you've done your bit. I'm doing this. I've given everything to everyone, so my part in uplifting people is done. But that's not the case over here. We need to be equitable when we are looking at people. You need to give resources to each person that is unique to their strengths and their weaknesses. That is the only way you can actually bring everyone up. So we need to be speaking about gender equity. Each person, even if they have the same race, ethnicity, gender, and background that the other person might have, that does not mean that their life experiences have been the same. They might require resources different from what a person who comes from the extremely similar background does. So we need to be mindful about this and really practice intentional communication. We really need to listen to what each individual needs and then work according to that. And that would mean gender equity, not equality.
Okay. So giving everyone what they need and not just giving everyone the same thing
Yes.
is, yes. All right, I hear you. All right. What has inspired you to become an advocate for the LGBTQIA plus community? Can you please shed some light on that?
Yes. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with this, I have grown up in India, and in India, we have the transgender community, and primarily the trans woman community, is what we call hijras back home. And it is quite possibly one of the most tragic things that I have seen, the way these people are treated. They have been reduced to begging on the streets. They don't have employment and housing, education, every possible challenge that a human being can face. The trans women community in India especially face. I remember this one particular experience as a child. I was in the car waiting at a traffic light, and there was somebody on the side of the streets who was begging for alms. And as the light turned green, there was a taxi in front of me. And I see the driver of the vehicle stick their arm out, grope this person, and then drive off laughing. I think I was 10, 11 years old when I remember this. And I was in the car with my family, and we were all so shocked in that moment. We couldn't stop the car in the middle of the street. And I remember looking back, seeing that person crying. And I felt such a deep sense of sadness and anger in that moment, thinking that this person is living such a dehumanized life. And then, furthermore, to be treated in this space like this was horrible. And for me, I think that was a very defining moment that when I grow up, because I was very young at that point, but when I grow up, I want to do everything and anything that I can to support trans people. And then as I grew up and I educated myself, I saw that, oh, it's not just trans people. We have a whole spectrum of identities. And anybody who fits in those identities, anybody who is not straight, does not fit into the heteronormative identity, is going to suffer one of these consequences. And that is what, for me, fueled my journey towards working to support the LGBTQI plus.
All right. That's nice to know. Okay. So since we're talking about your experiences back in India and what inspired you, could you give us a cross-cultural perspective of, what are the things that immigrant women can look up to when we move to Canada?
Yes, I think that is a very interesting question. And as an immigrant, a new immigrant who has recently moved to Canada, I think I can see a lot of resources available. First and foremost, the government of Canada does offer a lot of support, especially through the IRCC, for immigrants and even refugees for that matter. The Human Rights Act here in Canada also has a lot of provisions to support immigrant women, especially its push for equitable pay in the workspace. And we have a lot of community networks here in Canada. To begin with, IWB, which has been phenomenal in working towards providing a space where immigrant women can find agency as they integrate into life here in Canada. So trainings, mentorships, anything that really a person might require to settle down into life over here. I think Canada definitely offers a lot of resources. We have, of course, public healthcare, we have educational opportunities, better work-life balance, I will definitely say that. And also, I believe there's a ministry for women and gender equality as well, which is doing impressive work towards empowering women here in Canada. So I think, yeah, definitely there are a lot of benefits towards being an immigrant over here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sunana, for being here with us and for giving us so much information that was very informative as well about all the resources that are available here in Canada. Thank you.
Thank you, Maura.
Yeah. So now, can we have our next panelist, Sonia? So Sonia is a senior youth mentor and is working in e-commerce. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Sonia. Okay.
Hi.
So my question to you, Sonia, is what would your advice be to young people to step up as leaders and to create their own business, to create something of their own? Yes.
I think it starts with your own vision, and I think it starts with self-care. I think you have to, appreciate yourself, love yourself, to be able to put yourself out there and to be able to help others. So, anything from just, personal care or meditation, journaling, being kind to yourself and being willing to say, I deserve it, and not feeling that it's being selfish, taking time for you, but it's imperative for your own success.
Okay, so self-appreciation is where we start from. Okay, thank you, Sonia, for that advice. And if we have any questions from the audience, from our viewers, please let us know in the comments. And I know we've been having a lively discussion, but we need to talk about the event that's being organized by the Immigrant Women in Business, that is 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. That is between November 25th to December 10th. And we wish to see you all in large numbers on the 8th of December at Metro Hall. So do attend the event to gain more awareness and to hear more such inspiring stories. And most importantly, show your support, because we are stronger together. With this, I would like to thank our panelists, and I would like to thank all our viewers who are watching and supporting us. Thank you. Bye-bye, and have a wonderful day.
Immigrant Women in Business, IWB, is a non-profit organization bringing together women from over 50 different countries around the globe. These women have now made Canada their home and share a common goal of providing value to their new sisters. Our motto of "We are stronger together" resonates with all members